My truck is a 2016, and that means I've used my key fob a lot. And the battery is now going out on the key fob. As you can see, nothing's working. So today I'm gonna show you how to change your battery and a really cool upgrade from MESO Customs to change your whole entire key fob. The first step with the key fob that we need to do is we need to take it apart. And to do that, there's a simple little notch cut out of the key right here on the corner, right where the you attach it to the key ring. And to pry that open, it's really easy just with a quarter or a screwdriver or anything. You can just pry it in there, snap it apart, and then the back comes off. So once you get the back off, you can actually start taking this thing apart. So we can pull this section out, which controls all the button pushing. While we're at it, I will just pop these guys out so that we don't lose them. These are the buttons. So we have the panic button, the unlock and lock button. And then in here, we need to pry this open. It looks like I'm gonna need a screwdriver to pop one. Ooh, maybe not. I just pried it with my fingernails and it popped right open. And on the back side of here, I think this actually comes out too, is the battery. And you can just pop that out by sticking your fingernail under that and pulling that out. So the battery is a 2016, a CR 2016. So we're gonna replace that now. So here we go, there's the 2016. There's usually a little sticker on here. I already pried it off. It gives you the child's choking hazard, and it probably already blocks the negative terminal. So what we do here is we are going to stick this inside of here. There are 4 little tiny clips. There are the little black ones right here on the corner, on all 4 corners. And so you can slide it under 2 and push it in, and then it just sort of snaps on down. So then we can just fold this back up over the top. Let's squeeze it back together. Click, 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 click all around. And then we can get rid of these for now. Now I want to talk to you about the MESO Customs FlipKey, which is a really, really cool product. Whether or not you're just installing the FlipKey, you might as replace the battery as well. Your packaging might not look exactly similar to this. This is a prototype one, so we're gonna just put these out here and I'll talk to you a little bit about all these parts. So we have, that looks like it's gonna be the front. This guy is gonna be the back side. Let's pop this guy open next. These are the screws and buttons, and so we've got the lock, we have an unlock, we have the panic, and then it looks like we just have a blank one, and I know he's gonna make some designs up there. We have the Allen key, and we have 3 little Allens to throw them all together. This guy is the one that's a little bit confusing. So it's the key. It also has this like transistor or resistor. I'm not quite sure what those are. I'm not the electrical guy like MESO Customs is. Don't pull this out because there is a spring in there. All this is doing is holding the spring in place, so then when you put it all together, you can pull that out and the spring will stay in place. So leave that where it is. Yours will also come as a blank key. I've already got mine cut. You can cut it before and you can cut it after. After dealing with going to a key place and them asking tons of questions about what this is, I would highly suggest that you go to get it cut after you put everything together. That just makes a lot more sense in my mind. They had no idea what I was doing and asked tons of questions about why I wanted to copy a key. So go do it afterwards, and you can just say, oh, my key broke and I've got this other one, and you can go from there. So those are the parts of the MESO Customs FlipKey. So now what we do is we get to destroy your old key fob. The next step here is to get the transponder chip out of the key. It's this little tiny square rectangular object right here. This is the chip that connects to your car, telling it that this is the correct key to start the ignition. You can crank it over without this. Your engine will actually crank over, but it will not ignite. It will not start. So we need to get that little transponder chip out of this key fob. And to do so, we're gonna use a few of these tools. We're gonna use a really sharp razor blade, so be careful, don't cut yourself. Some needle nose pliers and some just wire cutters to kind of cut this thing up. Another benefit that you might want to do is put the key into a bench vise and to hold it all still, so then you can cut it up. But just because for the video, I'm not going to be doing that because my bench vise I'd cover everything up. So you're going to mangle this thing, you're going to destroy it, and you're not going to be able to reuse it. So just get ready for that and get ready to destroy this thing. I'm going to take this off real quick just because it's going to be in my way. Here we go. I do want to also just reiterate that this is a very sensitive item. It's probably glued in there. Be very, very careful that you're not damaging the item, the chip itself. So we're gonna try and wedge between the chip and the plastic and pry everything away and then take the chip out separately. But I'm just gonna be hacking this thing up. So here we go. I'm just kind of wedging the razor blade between the plastic and where the chip is. If you do damage this, you can get another key or get it reflashed. You do have to go to probably the dealership or some locksmith, which might be a little bit cheaper. But yeah, just once again, always be very, very, very careful with this. Also, don't cut towards yourself. Don't hurt yourself here. Like I said earlier, I think a bench vise would be a good thing to do. It wouldn't be a good video if you saw me doing it on the bench vise. So as you can see there, I'm kind of wedging it between the chip and the plastic. I kind of got some of the plastic in there between us as well, but I'm just gonna kind of push that down and try to separate it as much as I can. Take those needle nose and just kind of pry it all apart. There we go. It's coming out. This could be a 5-minute job, it could be a half an hour job. I would say take your time, do it right. This is probably the most crucial part of this entire process, so just be very, very, very careful on what you're doing. So once I got this side, for the most part, kind of done, probably peel off a little bit more here. I'm gonna now go between it long ways and try to pry some of that off. Just squeezing it in between there. You can hear it cracking, that's the glue coming apart. You can see I'm just coming in there. You can see the separation between the two. There you can see it's starting to come out a little bit. We're separating the chip from the plastic. Once again, I just want to reiterate, just go super slow on this. Be very careful. This is the make or break of this whole project. All right, it's starting to get a little bit loose here. Still just being very, very careful. I can actually see the chip wiggling around. Just trying to cut it all the way down on the sides and just be extremely careful with this thing. And there we go. There's the little tiny transponder chip right there. Doesn't look like I did any too much damage, if anything, to it. Still got a bunch of glue on it. Might have to clean that up before I put it into the flip key. But we'll leave it right there for now. The next thing that you might want to do is pull the key out, and that's pretty easy. You can actually kind of just wiggle that around and break it off if you have the whole key there. You can also just grab your razor blade and cut right straight down on it. This might be a little easier. Let's see, we'll just cut it straight down. There you go. And there's the key. I just use those needle nose or the wire cutters to just pull that apart. So that's what you could take into your locksmith when you go have the key cut. I'm gonna clean up the surface and we'll start assembly. Now that we have the transponder chip out, we can start assembling everything. One thing that I did before I started to assemble everything is I actually took the old key and the transponder chip and went to my truck and turned it on and made sure that the transponder chip was still working. That way when I assemble everything, it's not gonna be like a guessing game for that. So that was I thought that was a safe move. So I don't need that key anymore. That'll be like a backup spare key because you can still turn it, and there's the transponder chip. So we're gonna start assembling. We're gonna take what is gonna be the front of the flip key, and we're gonna put in the buttons. We'll start with the panic button, and then we'll put that down here at the bottom. You can just set it in and push it inside. Then we'll do the unlock. Once again, set it in, push it in. And then we'll do the lock button and put it in there. Now we can flip this guy over with our new battery. We can put it inside, and it just sits right in there, just like so. Now what we do is I'm gonna actually glue in the transponder chip, and I have this really high-end super glue, and it doesn't take much. I'm just gonna put a little dollop on there. So I'm just gonna flip it over till some glue comes out, drop it in, and then I'm just gonna push the transponder chip right here in this upper corner, right into that area, and just push it on in. It's not gonna push down all the way flat. There's actually tons of room on this side, so you can make sure that you don't need to worry about pushing it too hard. Now what we're gonna do is we are gonna set the plus sign here on the plus sign with the key facing up. So you can just kind of feel that into that area, and then we will push these on top of each other. Now we can close it. There we go. So this guy is always going to be poking out. That's one of the things that we want. I'm going to flip this over. This is actually a bottle opener, which is pretty cool. So we can push that into place here, and then we can actually put some of the screws in. There we go. And on the front, there's just one more little screw right there. There we go. The last little step here is to put this little cap right on the top, and if you push it down and nice and tight inside, it will stay, it clips in right there on the little hole. I know he's gonna do some really cool designs here on the future on this little space. I saw it on his website. I saw that he had a little TRD one. Now what we can do is we can actually pull this guy out of here, this little fuse, just by pulling it slowly and outwards, and it loosens it up, and well, mine stayed in place. So now it should close. There you go. You have to force it closed because you're engaging the spring there to get it, and then when you push the button, it comes on out. That is so cool. So I really like this design. It's really clean and neat. I actually have my old one right here beside me. This is my spare, so you can see the difference. It's a little bit beefier overall, but it's not nearly as long. So that key is going to be hidden, and it's actually kind of nice and tucked away on this new design, which is really, really nice. And it's not quite as long and bulky in a way, but yeah, I think that flip key is really cool. Let's go try it out in the truck. Clutch in, and let's flip the key up, hit the little button, slide it in the spot, and give it a twist. Starts right up. How awesome is that? It looks great. It's totally functional. It's got everything that the main fob does, plus a little bit more. Push the button to close it. I really am really stoked about this product. Big thanks to MESO Customs for coming out with all these awesome products that he has. Go check him out, MESO Customs. I think it's .com, and then he's got his Instagram handle as well, MESO Customs. He makes awesome products from ditch lights to blackout blinkers, awesome corner lights, some cool light setups up front as well, and some rad key fobs. Check him out. Thanks for watching. This is Snail Trail 4x4. Hammer down on that subscribe button, and don't forget, keep crawling.